How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and my fellow metahuman liberators? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 219, and the title of this week's chapter is Go Sliding Go, Go! Go Sliding Go, Go, Go! I had to do that for this week's chapter title because it just gave me vibes of Johnny Be Good, Back to the Future, and of Marty McFly playing the guitar at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. But I know very well that's not what's going to go down in this week's chapter. What should be going down is Bakugo and Todoroki about to hand out some big fat L's and to take down the perch-snatching villains that appeared at the end of last week's chapter. And of course, to make this even better, Bakugo and Todoroki are going to be taking them out 30 minutes after achieving and receiving their provisional hero licenses. It doesn't get much better than that, so I believe that's what we're going to get this chapter, but I also hope that we're going to dive just a little bit more into the Meta Liberation Army and learn a little bit more about this CEO of the Detnerat Corporation. I am very intrigued moving forward into this arc and to see what else we're going to learn and how awesome this arc could possibly be with the setup that we are currently getting. So I'm hyped. I've avoided all the spoilers. So without further ado, guys, let's dive in to chapter 219 of My Hero Academia, and let's watch Bakugo and Todoroki just take out the trash. So on the first page, we are starting off with those two, and we see All Might. It looks like he's actually keeping the crowd away from Bakugo and Todoroki fighting the villains. Bring down the purse-snatching villains. And then we have this shot of Todoroki getting ready to, I'm guessing, launch an ice tack. Those wallets and bags. You can't just steal people's things like that. And then he just blocks off both sides of the road, blocked by the ice. And that really does remind me of what he did to Midoriya back during the cavalry battle. So now the villains have only one way to go, and that is through Bakugo and Todoroki. Okay, chapter 219. Go, sliding go. Cocky little punk. You think a little ice would be enough to make me surrender? Me? Of all people? Okay, so this leader of this gang is not really too much of a scrub because he's able to at least break out of the ice that Todoroki just blasted them with. We thoroughly investigated the patrol patterns for this area, all for today's big operation. Also, we could strike during holiday season at the end of the year. We spent an entire month preparing. We waited for that one moment where we'd have the most sitting ducks and the heroes weren't around. And that's right here, right now. And I love Bakugo's retort. Get a job, asshole. Be like any normal person. Just go out and get a job. Unfortunately for you, we're putting a stop to your plan. Unfortunate? That's where you're wrong, high schoolers. School children are all so naive. Listen up. This guy has no idea who he is messing with right now. I can control carbonated water, and I live for thrills. And I've got a hell of a lot more resolve than a couple passing schoolboys. And that resolve will allow me to escape with my prize. And then we just see everyone from the Devil Horned Mask Gang launch their attack at Bakugo and Todoroki. One guy's got like stretchy arms right there, and then one guy looks really funny in the back right there. But that's interesting that he says my prize here, like kind of like my reward. This is only me here. But then before he was talking about we as the gang prepared and planned this for a month. So kind of got a little bit selfish right there in his last bit of dialogue. Oh, Bakugo. Panel right below that, you just see Bakugo unleash consecutive explosions on these fodder gang members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 explosions. And he just took them out, no problem. And the gang leader's shocked by this. He's like, "What? What the f? Oh, what's wrong? Your buddy's passed out. I was only trying to stop them, so I was even holding myself back, too. Where's that resolve of yours now, huh?" Bakugo is holding back. And the fact that he can brag about that, as this guy was going on before about his resolve, he was going to take them out, and he just shoved that right back in this gang member's face. You go, Bakugo. Oh, look at that face on Bakugo right there. I hope you've still got some, because you're in for a world of hurt. And he just launches straight at this gang member. Oh, this guy's got some gauntlets on his arms right here. They kind of look like gun heads a little bit. They remind me of Gunhead's gauntlets that he wears. The only one who's gonna get hurt is you. And he just launches, like machine gun style, my guess is carbonated water, at Bakugo, who just lunged in on him. Okay, we see Bakugo dodge this attack. Oh, you're strong. A little too strong for your own good. And then he just falls backwards.
Could someone help me? It's stuck on autofire.
Was his attack too powerful? He's not used to using these new support items, I think, this gang leader. Because if I remember from last chapter, I think this gang had support equipment supplied to them by the Meta Liberation Army secretly, kind of black market, under the table in a way. So this guy is using new equipment he hasn't used before, and when he just unleashed it, the power was too much for him, because you just see him fall flat on his ass, and you just see the carbonated machine gun shots just flying everywhere, and it's slicing the environment around him. That's interesting. What is this woman doing right here?
But first, let me take a selfie. Let me take a selfie.
All Might is trying to get all of the pedestrians, all of the people on the sidelines, away from the danger, and this woman is saying it's like a carnival of snow and ice, and she's like, gotta take a picture, hashtag do it for the gram. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me right now, lady. And All Might's like, miss, no. And then, as that guy was falling back and slicing at the environment, we see a lamppost getting cut, and it's about to fall down on this woman. And All Might's rushing in right now. Bakugo sees this about to happen as All Might's rushing in to save her. Bakugo, he came in. As All Might lunged at the woman, he swatted the falling lamppost away from them. And then, of course, in typical Bakugo fashion, he just yells at them, if you want to die, do it somewhere else. But good job on you, Bakugo, for saving them. Okay, now we're moving over to Todoroki. Ha ha, this is just the best. So, this guy is enjoying his improvement in strength from this new support item. And Todoroki's dodging all of it. You can see the carbonated water. Guess I've got no choice but to get a little rough with him. Todoroki's lifting the sleeves up right now. He's about to unleash some heat. Let's go, Todoroki. Whoa! Swelling, icy heat wave.
Don't blame me for what happens next. Yes, Shoto!
Did he just combine his fire and ice attack right there? This is a nice shot. Because you can see it kind of like the impact circle around him. The gang leader's just getting launched back from this. This guy has to be done from this. Because Todoroki isn't holding back. But Todoroki is finally using his fire and ice combined in an attack. Which honestly reminds me of what he did during his match with Midoriya. But it seems like he's getting the hang of it. Yeah, this guy just got launched back into the ice wall Todoroki created. Yup, he's unconscious. He is done.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Carbonated water goes flat when it heats up, right? That little one-liner right there from Todoroki. You son of a... That's the move you used on Deku during the sports festival. So it is the same exact move.
I see now, Midoriya. Thank you.
Oh, this is gonna look so nice when it gets animated. You son of a... That's the move you used on Deku during the sports festival, ain't it? Yeah, although I held back compared to then. Are you injured? And he's just carrying the unconscious thugs with him. But that's an interesting thing. So the attack he just used was actually weaker than the one he used at the sports festival. So he was still holding back in this scenario. Well, no, I'm not injured, shithead. You making fun of me? What about that woman? She's fine, damn it. Are you two all right? So we got All Might and... What is this guy doing? We got another pro hero showing up on the scene.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Cha-cha real smooth. Let's go to work.
And it looks like he's got an arrow pointing down to his crotch. Don't know why he designed his costume that way, but I'm guessing this is the sliding hero coming in, hence the title of this chapter. Ho-ho! If I'm not mistaken, you're that bad boy from UA. What's bad here is your vocabulary, asshole. You're proving his point, Bakugo. Oh, man. And this guy's got a huge chin on him. And did you two do all this? And you just see all of the gang unconscious. They were stealing the bags and belongings of passerbys. We've subdued all of the assailants that were identifiable to us. As for the stolen goods, here. When did you acquire all of those, Bakugo? He is holding all of the wallets and bags that these gang members stole. I rounded them up before they were burned to ash back then. Damn, Bakugo, those are some quick reflexes you got there to not only launch explosions, but then also to grab those bags at the exact same time. Then in the background, we have Todoroki talking to All Might. Thank you for leading the evacuation. Two totally separate conversations happening between these two heroes. And then our sliding hero just slunk into them and hugged them both. You did everything perfectly. That's remarkable. I can't believe you're still only students. Thank you. Thank you. You're sure to become top heroes in the future. He should let go pretty soon because Bakugo is not gonna like that all too much. Slide and Go. So that is his hero name, Slide and Go. I, Slide and Go, shall take care of the rest. Crack. Whoa. The gang leader's support items just exploded. They self-destructed, it looks like. His gauntlets exploded. They did indeed. That's what you get for using inferior black market goods. So they implemented a self-destruct sequence so they could not be tied back to the Liberation Army. I mean, you gotta have a failsafe when you can, and it looks like they do have that. Okay, that's interesting. But then All Might comes up to Todoroki and Bakugo. You two were amazing. And then Todoroki's like kind of smiling. He's like, thanks. And of course, Bakugo's like, get the hell away from me. Stop patting my head. Now, let's go home. You must be hungry. We need to melt the ice. Don't expect me to help. Okay, here we go. Back to our Board of Trustees.
The meeting will come to order. The Legion of Doom is now in session.
All of the items we are circulating in the black markets are being monitored continuously. If things take a turn for the worse, they'll explode. So they do have a self-destruct sequence in them. Leaving no evidence behind, we're also collecting tons of valuable combat data. You've certainly got a strong commercial spirit. This will also help further our cause. That's interesting. So not only do they have a failsafe implemented, but they're collecting combat data from all of their black market support items. I'm really curious how this is going to factor in later on in this arc. Why gather that combat data? Maybe to strengthen the support items, to see how people fight, To see how people want to be liberated? I mean, I can only guess at this point. But I love how they're all just sitting down having dinner as they're plotting world domination. Ah, it seems they've already arrived. That was quick. You were the one who said, do so at once. Your words are the words of Destro. You should choose them carefully. That's an interesting phrase right there. Because he's the son of Destro, these guys will basically do anything this guy tells them to do. But I know from last chapter, they got someone who had contact with the League of Villains, so who did they get? We tried searching for his client lists, but came up empty. According to him, he destroyed them all. Oh, how clever. Yo! They captured Giran! It's been a long time since we saw him last. I think the last time was during Twice's chapter, before the overhaul arc.
You didn't answer my question. Are you okay? Tell me.
Yeah, sure I am. I've been so busy I'm crying with delight. These past few weeks, there's been a monumental surge in the black market. Everyone's looking for suits or support items. Demand couldn't be any better, my friend. And of course, the League of Villains are the darlings of the hour.
It has been a long time. But man, they interrogated him good. They beat up his face. Like half of it is just black and blue. It's bruised. You can see him bloodied and beaten. But he didn't give up any information. He's a good man. He didn't rat. You know what they say? Snitches get stitches. And he ain't no snitch. This is the mediator supplying equipment to the League of Villains. The broker Giran. There's no mistaking that he's got information on the League. And man, did they try to beat it out of him. You serious? This is quite the surprise. I can't believe you were able to sniff me out. I figured whoever it was must have quite a lot of free time on their hands. And what do you know? Out comes President Baldy from Detnerat. Just throwing those balding jokes right back at this guy with his receding hairline. First his assistant, and now Giran. I mean, if he keeps this up, and then if he starts bad-mouthing the Liberation Army, Giran's toast. So he better choose his words wisely right now, because we don't know how this CEO is going to react. You know, the old man was real pissed off, and I owe a lot to him from way back when I was an upstart in this business. When a legitimate company tries to break into my market, well, how much do you want? Let me tell you something. I never enter into a business relationship with anyone until I get a good look at their face. And I only do business with the guys who strike my fancy. And I'm afraid a guy who would beat me silly and drag me to his lair doesn't make the cut. I mean, that does make sense. I mean, would you rather work for someone who actually treats you well, or someone that drags you, forces you to their lair, and just beats you within an inch of your life out of information? Whether or not I've got info on the League is irrelevant. I'm not leaking a damn thing to a thug like you. Look at that face on Giran right there. What kind of smuggler would sell out his clients? Why don't you crawl back into your dad's ball sack where you came from? Yo! Giran! Giran has been absent for at least 100 chapters at this point. But he comes in after being interrogated, beaten black and blue, but yet can still stand up to the Detnerat CEO and have the cojones, the balls, to say that to this guy's face. Bravo, Giran. Like, this just gave me so much respect for him, which is awesome to see. Because he's still a villain, but he's a villain with a code and ethics. And he's not a snitch, because he knows that if you snitch on fellow villains, snitches get stitches. So at least he knows that golden rule. But it's nice to see that he has a code that he's going to stick to. He's going to stick to his ideals. But hopefully, this CEO is not gonna pop Giran's head like he did with his assistant. But way to go, Giran. Way to go.
And here
Whoa. No way. I just turned the page. No way.
It's time!
No way. I need to stand up for this. What? I honestly was not expecting him to show up this arc. But it's about damn time. Horikoshi, you are stacking up this arc right now. Just with these past 2 chapters alone, this arc is very promising. I see Gigantomachia holding Mr. Compress in his gigantic hand. Toga and Twice are beaten on the ground. Spinner seems fine off in the corner right there. No Dabi, but Shigaraki is just staring Gigantomachia down. I have to read the stuff on this page to see what the hell is going on here. So we got a last bit of stuff with the president. I think you and I are going to be great friends. But man, that face is a deranged face. He looks unhinged. What's he gonna do to Giran? Oh, Giran. Choose your words wisely around the Detnerat CEO. But let's move on to this stuff right here. Approximately 1 month ago, so we're flashing back, before the Hero Billboard chart announcement. This can't be. These guys are too weak. Why, All for One? This is terrible. Why? Wait a minute, Giganto's crying in this panel. So did he just show up at the League of Villains doorstep, you know, size them up, and then come to realize these guys are weaklings compared to him? I mean, we know Giganto just obliterated the size of a mountain. This dude is very strong, possibly OP. We don't know what his quirk is, but we know he's strong. He is a direct subordinate of All for One. So he's crying at just how weak they are. He does not like weakness. He's like, you guys make me want to cry with how weak all of you are. And he's like, why, All for One? Why'd you leave me with these weaklings? And Shigaraki is just staring him down. I feel bad for Mr. Compress right there because he lost an arm. Would hate to see him just get squashed by Giganto right there. But then Twice is getting back up. Can we call it quits already? Let's go. Round 2. Oh, wow. I missed Twice's dialogue so much. I missed the League so much. Oh, man, it's good to have them back. But yeah, Giganto just made quick work of them. The League of Villains is on the verge of destruction. Question mark? And that is the end of chapter 219. So we're flashing back 1 month ago, timeline-wise within the story. So we're going to get to see what the League has been up to. And apparently Giganto has joined them at this point, or at least showed up at the doorstep. And I don't see Dabi right now, so this could be where Dabi was possibly communicating with Hawks and then dealing with the high-end Nomu. So hopefully we'll learn about what was going on in that front. But if next chapter is going to be a League of Villains-centric chapter, sign me up for it. I am beyond hyped for chapter 220 next week. Ah, man. Like, I have been waiting for Gigantomachia, and it's finally here. Horikoshi is just delivering good stuff for the beginning of this arc. Meta Liberation Army, Destro, the son of Destro, and now the return of the League with Gigantomachia. I am beyond hyped. So this chapter was a pretty damn good chapter. We got to see Bakugo and Todoroki make quick work of throwing out the trash of that gang, but then coming to learn that they were supplied with support items from the Liberation Army that are built in with self-destruct mechanisms. That way it cannot be tied back to them. And currently they're interrogating Giran, trying to find the League's whereabouts. And now the League has upped their arsenal with Gigantomachia. Next week cannot get here fast enough. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 219 of My Hero Academia. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter and also with what could possibly go down with next chapter. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below and feel free to subscribe to the channel, guys, and click that bell icon to be alerted and keep up to date with all of my future MHA reactions. And if you guys want to talk more about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can be found in the description down below. But that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, when we will presumably have our League of Villains centric chapter with 220 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.